All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a little bit different video, not car related, but still related to engines and things that move forward and backwards. This is my Briggs and Stratton 27-inch snowblower that I actually blew up a couple weeks ago randomly when we had a snowfall. We've only gotten a few snowfalls this year where I've actually had to pull this thing out, and it's only been run about 5 times since the last oil change that I did on it. But somehow, mysteriously, it ran dry of oil. Now I didn't notice anything burning, and I didn't notice any leaks. I still have no clue where the oil went. I hadn't checked it for a few times, or maybe even since the beginning of the season, which maybe that's on me. Maybe I should be checking my oil more often. But having only run the snowblower 5 times or so, I didn't really expect it to be an issue. So engine ran dry, it went kaboom, and the rod blew up inside the crankcase, and the piston scored the heck out of the cylinder. And here is what the piston looks like. And then this is our part of our this is our, gosh dang it. And this is our rod that's blown up and in pieces. So needless to say, the engine that came with this is toast. The engine that was on here is this engine over here. This was the engine that was on this snowblower when I purchased it. I purchased this brand new about 7 years ago, something like that. This is a 250cc Briggs and Stratton 1150, so 11.5 foot-pounds of torque is what it's rated for. Obviously, see, I've kind of torn it down just to kind of diagnose what happened and see the current state of things. So what our project today is going to be is an engine swap. The bones of this blower are still great, good condition, very minimal rust. All the mechanicals are just fine other than the engine. So I didn't want to just toss this snowblower away when it's still perfectly good. And I wanted to try and make a project out of it and salvage it. So what we're doing today is an engine swap, but not just any engine swap. We're gonna upsize the engine just for fun. Why not have more power? So what we have here is an LCT, Liquid Cool Technologies, 369cc engine, brand new out of the box. Got it on eBay from a small engine seller, and got an awesome deal on it actually. But one of the reasons I think it was an awesome deal is because it has the European starter plug on it. Probably less desirable on the marketplace that was listed, but other than that, it's brand new, and if it's done right, we shouldn't even need the electric start. So that's the plan today. The biggest things that are going to be of issue is the mounting holes for the new engine are a different pattern than the old one. So we're going to need to make some adjustments there and realign this as well so that the shaft will line up with where the old one lined up, and the pulleys will all align with the belts for the auger and the wheel drives. But otherwise, that should be about it. We will need to change the belts as well. Might take some trial and error to get the appropriate sizes, but overall it shouldn't be too bad of an engine swap. I did make sure to get the exact same shaft size. This is a 3/4 inch shaft. This was tough to find. A lot of these bigger engines are 1-inch shafts, so this 3/4 one was critical to get because the pulleys are a little unique for this blower. This uses it's a cogged pulley obviously, and they're keyed, but this fits an HTD, actually it fits this belt. A timing belt, a Gates, this is a Gates Power Grip HTD, but it's a 750-5M. I don't know if you can see that. All we really care about is the 5M, but finding a pulley that would fit a 1-inch shaft and match this 5M cog was really not proving to be difficult. So ended up really trying to work hard to find a 3/4 inch shaft engine and make that work with the stock pulleys. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get started right now, try and talk you through it as I do it, and hopefully it's easier done than said. Okay, so as you can see, we cut off the original mounting studs for the original engine, and then I actually had to grind them down flush with just my grinding wheel. I'm going to go back over and do just a spray coat of some paint on this bare metal so it doesn't prematurely rust. But before I do that, I'm going to lay up the new engine and mark off where this needs to be in alignment with the pulleys, and then I can start to mock up and drill the new mounting holes for the new LTC 369cc engine.
That's heavy.
All right, guys, here it is. It's basically done. The engine is mounted, the pulleys are mounted, the tensioners are on, the belts are on, and as you saw in the previous clip, it is functioning like it should. So that's a huge win. I kind of piecemealed this video. I didn't really do a good job showing, but you saw as I cut off the original studs for the Briggs smaller 250cc engine. This one had a different bolt pattern, so I had to drill some new holes in the deck, and then I just used stainless bolts with washers on each side and torqued it down. The other one had studs, so I wasn't able to do that with this, but the bolts are one and the same. So bolted this down. You may have saw I also grinded those flush and then just threw some paint over where I had grinded and drilled into the deck just to prevent any rusting and corrosion as much as I could. The trickiest part with all of this was just getting the engine aligned properly for where it needs to be with relation to the pulleys in the actual deck and the auger pulleys, just to make sure that this all aligned properly. It's pretty good. I'm hoping it's aligned properly. Only time will tell. No obvious issues right off the bat, but we're not going to know until we run this thing for a while, and if we start to blow up some belts on it, then that'll be an issue and we'll have to adjust as necessary. So the only thing I really have left to do with this is craft some sort of a shroud to cover up the pulleys. Obviously, the original shroud won't fit, just given that the engine is higher up. Right now, this is resting on the pulley, so that's not going to work. I'm going to have to figure out something here, maybe sheet metal or, I don't know, welded plastic or something to bring this up and cover up the pulleys, as well as snug it tight to the to the frame there, so that way we're not getting a bunch of snow and moisture into our snowblower when we're snowblowing. So that's pretty much the gist of it. It's really pretty straightforward. The hardest thing is just sizing the belts, getting the alignment right. Obviously the engine should function. It's a brand new engine, so there's really nothing to do with there. This one actually does have a 60-watt alternator, so I was able to plug in my original lights here. I'll probably end up doing some sort of a cool lighting package just for fun, throwing some extra LEDs on here to make it really bright, because whenever I'm blowing snow, it's always at night, so that would be kind of nice to have. And yeah, other than that, there's not much else to talk about. If you have any questions or looking for any details as to how I did this, or I don't know, something I didn't cover, I feel like I kind of explained it. It's a pretty simple process overall, I would say. The biggest thing is just speccing the engine properly, getting the correct shaft size, correct shaft length. I did have to go and get some different hardware. The shaft bolt on this engine was a different size than the one on the original engine, so I had to go get a new stainless bolt for that, as well as the bolts for the engine and some miscellaneous washers and hardware. But overall, I was able to reuse a lot of stuff, and yeah, not too bad. Kind of fun. Definitely want to do it again. I have a 30-inch Toro Time Master mower that's kind of seen some better days. I'm thinking about doing an engine swap on that as well. Let me know if that's something you're interested in or not. I know not everyone really cares about this stuff. It's not as exciting as Porsches and whatever, but I just like to tinker and do stuff in the garage and whatever. So yeah, I'm rambling, but that was kind of fun. It works. Like I said, just got to build a shroud for this. And once I have some snow, if we get any more snow this year, I'll test it out. And that's all there is to it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully it was enjoyable, or you learned something, or at least interesting to see. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.